Bam. YouTube-Intro mache ich eh separat. Brauche ich jetzt hier kein YouTube-Intro zu sprechen. Oh, so ein trockener Husten, na, das ist ekelhaft. So ein trockener Husten ist scheiße. Weiterhin gute Besserung sehe ich ja wirklich. Weiterhin gute Besserung dir. Ich werde die Kamera bald umstellen, dass ich die hier vorne beim Chat habe. Das machen wir heute nach dem Stream. Weil ich muss dann immer dahin gucken, obwohl ich da lese. Das ist so... Ihr versteht? Könnte eher Liebe gebrauchen. Hier einmal ganz viel Liebe, komm. Ganz viel Liebe. Ganz viel Liebe. Ganz viel Liebe. So, wir schmeißen uns in den Devstream rein, Leute. Soll ich euch so wenig wie möglich einblenden? Also quasi so. Dass wir so viel wie möglich sehen? Machen wir das so, oder? Blenden wir auch aus. Machen wir weg. Zack. Perfekt. Gut.
And joining me today, we have two very, very special guests. On one side of me, I don't know which one because it's all mirrored, so I'll try and point.
Stellt jetzt gerade erstmal die beiden Leute vor, mit denen den Devstream macht.
Game designer and Feng Mao extraordinaire, Demonde.
Hey guys.
Stellt jetzt gerade erstmal die Leute vor.
A man who needs no real introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. It's the Ameda Studios CEO and founder,
so? Ja, ich
and my
hab
personal
ja schon mal
hero. It's Robbie.
Guide gemacht.
Hey guys,
ich habe
how
mir
we
die
doing?
Dezibelzahlen gemerkt.
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Ein Profi.
I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm quite excited to jump into this stream. You know, we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about. You know, like
Wir haben
everyone's been really, really
eine
busy
Menge
with
geiles Zeug, über
1.2.
das wir reden. Ja, das
And
stimmt.
I think
Das
it's quite
stimmt
exciting that we're
definitiv.
actually going to be giving people a first look here. You know, it's
Also ich
it's gonna
hab
be
den
good.
Devstream
It's
ja
gonna be
gestern
really
Abend schon
good.
bei Mike geguckt,
Yeah.
beim Don
Yeah, I'm
Chiller.
pretty excited. The team have been cooking
Der
pretty
Vorteil ist, jetzt
hard
können wir immer ein
and,
bisschen Pause drücken und drüber
really
quatschen,
excited
was
to
da
show a
passiert.
few of the things that are coming.
Yeah, totally agree.
Ja, mit dabei im
Totally
Devstream
agree.
ist der Game
It's
Designer,
good. And
Demonde
hello, everyone
und
else. Welcome.
Robbie, also
Welcome. Shall we
Chef
see who we've got on the chat? Right, let's have a little look.
von Pred.
There's a lot of people here, everyone. That's not scary at all. We have Stacks Red. Say hello in the chat. Here we go. We've got, oh God, it's going so quick. Our dog. We've got the Posh Panda. That's a brilliant name. Ritterific. I saw that one. We've got Rosemary Way. We've got X Tim. We've got the Monkey Games. Oh my God, there's so many people. Lots and lots of lovely people. The chat's literally gone wild. Like, I don't think I've done that before to a chat that's just going absolutely crazy. I don't know if I can do that again. That was, you meant to reel off like at least 20 people. It just didn't work out, guys. I'm sorry.
Ja, die letzten Devstreams waren immer ein bisschen...
Right, so what's the stream about? Well, I mean, I've kind of alluded to it already. It's pretty much all about what's coming up in 1.2 and a little bit
Aber da merkt man,
as well. So it's,
da können wir die erste Pause machen. An diesem Punkt gestern, an diesem Devstream gestern, habe ich gemerkt, dass Pred nicht stirbt, sondern dass die Leute hinterher sind. Weil gestern, so wie der Chat gestern abgegangen ist im Devstream und alles, sowas habe ich noch nie erlebt. Sowas gab es vorher in Pred noch nicht. Das war einzigartig, das war magisch gestern. Das war wirklich magisch gestern. Das, was da alles passiert ist gestern, das wird nochmal einen richtig geilen Hype entwickeln, glaubt mir.
We're all quite happy to be here. And effectively, you've you may have noticed if you go on our
Chat schreibt
Reddit
das,
a
ja,
lot
auf jeden Fall.
that myself and some other members of the team have been a lot more active there over the past maybe month or so. And we've been doing things like Feedback Friday and generally just kind of trying to up the communication a little bit, like really up our game. And it's been really, really cool to see the response. And this stream is part of that as well. So it's really cool to be here. Thanks to all of you for joining us. So yeah, it's a little sneak peek at 1.2.
So, jetzt geht's Richtung Sneak Peek, also Richtung...
Should we get into...
Ah, okay, mit Leertaste kann ich das machen. Perfekt. Ja, Sneak Peek, ne? Also, jetzt gibt's kleine Eindrücke in Version 1.2. Also der nächste Patch, der reinknallt.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not allowed. I've forgotten one thing. Sorry, I've forgotten one thing, everyone, and it's really, really important. I promise. It's a we've got a giveaway to do. Come on, we've got a giveaway to do. We can't do it. We can't jump in the chat. Exclamation mark. Good.
Das war das
Right,
Giveaway,
I've done
was
that.
gestern
Let's
gelaufen
actually
ist
jump
noch.
in. So I've got a whole new OBS setup, and I'm really it's Winterfest. That's the first thing we're talking about. Demonde.
So, das erste Ding, worüber wir sprechen, wo ich mega happy drüber war, war definitiv Season Maps. Ey, es ist irgendwie zwar nur ein kleiner Touch, aber Season Maps sind einfach irgendwie sexy. Wir haben Winter, in-game haben wir auch Winter. Wir haben Sommer, die Map sieht sommerlich aus. Wir haben jetzt Halloween, die Map sieht so ein bisschen Halloween-mäßig geschmückt aus. Versteht ihr? Also Winter, Sommer und dann halt diese Special Halloween-Map, die jetzt da ist. Vielleicht kriegen wir ja nochmal irgendeine Special-Map zu irgendeinem Anlass oder so eine Oster-Map oder so. Ja, ihr wisst, was ich meine, ne? Also so ein bisschen Abwechslung im Map-Design ist immer super sexy. Ich hoffe, die Mega-Skins kommen dann auch raus. Welche Mega-Skins? Ich hoffe, das auch mal für...
Let's talk about last year's Winterfest first.
Skins kommen ja im Laufe der Zeit immer wieder dazu und wird sich auch drum gekümmert, aber dass die jetzt an so einem krassen Zeug arbeiten, wie das, was wir jetzt hier im Devstream gleich alles sehen, zeigt mir, dass der Fokus gerade richtig liegt. Der Fokus sollte mit dem kleinen Team nicht auf Skins liegen, der Fokus mit so einem kleinen Team sollte sein, das Spiel jetzt richtig geil zu machen. Und das sind... wartet's ab, Leute, wartet's ab, das wird heftig.
We had like no major changes. It was kind of lackluster. This year we kind of went all the way. So we've got...
Oh ja, der Winter-Aurora-Skin, der ist sexy.
Yeah, we did.
New map. We've got a larger reward track with 30 rewards. That includes like a skin.
Map ist, es sieht so schön aus.
A skin variant and a prime skin, which is like a kind of a different type of skin. It's the same thing as the Lumen Rampage Undertow skin, for people that are familiar. It's honestly just a huge overhaul from last year's Winterfest. I believe we also have a soundtrack, a new soundtrack for the main menu as well.
Oh, we do.
Neuer Soundtrack im Main-Menü.
You were telling me that sounds really cool as well, Demonic. You were like, can we put that as like the starting scene thing? And I was like, please don't make me do it just before the stream. But it is really cool, right? The audio guys have done a great job.
No, the sound team killed it with that, yeah.
Nee, Lederlappen kennt, glaube ich, kaum Skins.
Yeah, it's pretty addictive. I think they did a great job. And then, as Demonde was saying, last year was still very early for the product, but I think this year the team have done a really great job, and we saw a lot of feedback from players that they want.
Es triggert so mein Monk, dass die den Rahmen von der Kamera hier nicht richtig ins Overlay rein platziert haben. Die hätten einfach ein paar Mal Pfeiltaste links und zweimal Pfeiltaste hochdrücken müssen. Dann wäre das perfekt da drinne gewesen. Das triggert mein Monk.
Wanted some things to grind, and so now we have 30 levels. It's much, yeah, the team have done a really great job, and
So, jetzt kommen wir. Gott segne den Grind, Leute.
We saw a lot
Gott
of feedback
segne
from
den
players that
Grind.
they wanted some things to grind, and so now we
30 Level im Battle Pass for free.
have 30 levels. It's much more like a battle pass, and so players can grind for free and paid rewards. And there's some cool stuff there, plus some new things that I think we're going to talk about later on in the stream. So won't spoil those. But there's some new things that you can grind in the battle pass.
Let's go.
I'm shocked you didn't leak that, Robbie.
I'm
I'm
on the best
shocked.
idea.
Im Battle Pass grinden, spielen. Einfach zocken, grinden, game und du bekommst Battle
You
Pass
did
Level
so,
durch
I'm
XP.
genuinely so like, you did well there. You did very well there. Yeah, it's really cool because I mean, we pretty much
Endlich eine Belohnung fürs Grinden. Bam, ja.
just came out of the Halloween map as well, right? So, you know, I mean, that was a big step up.
So
in, like,
geil. Oh. Moment. Sorry, ich musste ganz kurz die Tür aufmachen. Jetzt geht's weiter.
last year because I don't think
Ja, genau, das sind die 3 Winterskins. Die waren richtig schön. Das waren richtig schöne Skins. Kann sie einmal hier reinpacken. Wer nicht auf den Link klicken will, kann sie einmal hier sehen. Super hübsche Skins aus Paragon früher.
we did anything for Halloween last
We
year, did we?
didn't. No, we didn't.
There you go. So automatic
Yeah.
step up.
Even-
And
Even Christmas,
Yeah.
right? We didn't do much for Christmas from what I remember. It was just we put the hats on the minions, right?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, the hats on the minions were awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool.
Die reden gerade über die Hüte, die sie auf die Minions gesetzt haben für Weihnachten.
Yeah, it's like Demone said, we have that sort of like, it was almost like a mini little battle pass. And then, you know, this year it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger. It's really exciting. And you can see on the screen next to us, we've got some screenshots
Ja, kam's.
of the map, all work in progress stuff.
Ich müsste mal. Studio-Modus. Der GC. STRGV. Mindestens den Chat hier irgendwo hinpacken. Zumindest den Chat irgendwo hinpacken.
Which is another kind of cool thing about the
Dass das für den YouTube-Stream nicht so blöd ist.
stream, by the way. Everything that you're going to see is work in progress. So it's, I mean, like, Robbie, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the fireflies things here, the butterflies,
No.
because I know you hate them being so bright, but they're not going to be that bright.
Yeah. Well, I would like people to actually see the river bugs when they jump down. And
Jetzt kommen wir zur
were
nächsten
impressed.
richtig geilen Änderung, Leute.
They were like super bright as I jumped down, and I was like, I actually can't see the river bugs, and we're going to talk about the river bugs later, so they kind of become a little bit more
Jetzt
important.
wird's sexy.
And so I was like, we need to tone this down. But I think the cool thing about these streams is we can show people the work in progress stuff. Some of the stuff
Oder erzählt er das jetzt
is
gar
at
nicht?
different stages.
Yeah.
But I think the map is in a really good spot for the most part. But then other stuff is much more earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, for sure. The level design team has been absolutely killing it. Like going from Halloween to Winterfest like that within like 2 patches or 1 patch even. I believe like a full patch cycle is pretty crazy. But yeah, on the topic of the Firefly VFX, I actually thought that was like an ability that got cast that I didn't know about. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, it's just map stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't had the pleasure of experiencing them in game because they're fixed now. But you know, it's looking really, really good. We did a playtest today. In fact, Demonde,
Es ist ja erst ab
you were in my
Minute
playtest,
22
Yep.
oder so.
and
20.
you were not Feng Mao. You
No,
were
I was
Crunch.
not. I was
I was
playing Crunch
shocked.
today.
It was, I mean, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's Winterfest stuff. It's looking really, really cool.
Das wird richtig
I'm
fett.
really excited for people to just jump into the map. It's got like this, when you first get in, you kind of just get this kind of, I don't know, magical feel. You know, it feels really, really fantasy being on a winter map, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Das finde ich
Yeah, I
auch.
like it a lot. Yeah.
It feels cold, right?
Er sagt gerade, er findet es halt ziemlich magisch und so Fantasy geil auf einer Wintermap zu sein. Muss ich sagen, fühle ich auch. Vor allem, wir haben mittlerweile in Deutschland irgendwie nicht mehr so einen geilen Winter. So haben wir den Winter wenigstens in Pred.
Like
Yeah.
it does feel cold. I was I can't say anything because it leaked something, but yeah, I'm on my best behavior. But yeah, it definitely feels cold, and I think that along with the battle pass and the changes we've made, I think it all feels like a much more well put together package, which is something that we want to just deliver going forward. It's like these well put together releases, and I think this is kind of the first real example of us putting that all together, and I think people are going to really enjoy the changes. So yeah, I don't know.
Ich bin auch mega gespannt
I
auf den
saw
Battle
some
Pass.
questions in chat about how you earn XP for the battle pass, and Demonde can just correct me if I'm wrong, but it's simply just by playing the game. Like you play matches, you earn XP.
Yep. The more you win, the more you earn. Of course, you'll earn more for wins, less for losses. That's standard. But yeah, one last thing I wanted to say about the winter map is it definitely reminds me of home, being Canadian. So.
Bei ihm halt
Yeah,
es so,
that's
man
fair.
versteht
Totally
ihn so
get that.
schlecht.
Totally get that. I mean, like one of the things you were just saying, Robbie, about just sort of general, I guess, patch size. Like we've also just come from 1.1, which was also quite like
Da
still
sind
kind
noch
of
viele
big. It was
Fragezeichen.
still kind of a big patch, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it
30
had
Fragezeichen,
a
um genau
bunch
zu
of quality
sein.
of life stuff in. I remember getting to the patch notes and being like, oh man, this is far bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah,
So-
but then this one is like way bigger. And I know
Yeah.
we say it and people meme us like this is the biggest patch, but this is actually, I guess that's progression, right? Because your next one is bigger than your previous one, but this is actually the biggest patch. Like I was actually speaking to some personal friends of mine and I shared them like a list of the stuff coming. And I forgot like a bunch of things and this was already so long. So I was like, this is actually pretty big. And I think
Also die Leute, die bisher die Changes gelesen haben, die ganzen Änderungen, die jetzt mit 1.2 kommen sollen, sagen auch, das ist der größte Patch, der bisher reingeknallt ist.
hit on a
Das
lot of
ist
things, and not
big
only is
changes.
it big, but I think we hit on a lot of
Verdammt
things
große
that people have been
Änderungen.
asking for as well. I'm sure we'll talk about some of that stuff throughout the stream.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good segue into what we want to talk about next. So let's come
über was sprechen wir
away
als
from
nächstes?
Winterfest. Here we go.
Winterfest ist jetzt vorbei.
And back to us. Back to the
Also
lovely
Wintermap auf
faces.
jeden Fall mega geil.
So I don't think we could do a live.
Gerade da sehe ich ja. Gerade der erste Pass, der muss knallen. Die Leute müssen sehen, oh geil, Battle Pass, grinden und ich freue mich schon auf den nächsten. So, weißt du, was ich meine? Die müssen ja einen Hype um diesen Pass entwickeln.
Stream
Ansonsten können sie noch lassen.
without
Da wird Level 30 schon ein verdammt geiler Skin
talking
dabei sein, sage ich euch.
about ranked mode.
Aber es sind halt
You
noch
know,
ganz viele Fragezeichen. Und jetzt sprechen wir über den Ranked-Modus.
it's been in the game for a while, and I know the team have been working on a few things. So Demonde, do you want to sort of just take us through kind of what's been going on in the past few weeks / month, if you like?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk about ranked because that's my baby. So
Also er liebt es, über Ranked zu reden, das ist sein Baby,
I
ne?
care about it very much.
Der hat da ganz viel Pflege.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot to go over here. So what I will lead with is just get it out of the way, right now. We're not going to be splitting in 1.2. We will be holding off on splitting until probably the launch of season 1, like full official season 1 ranked. What that means is there will be no like VP soft reset or hard reset.
Also es wird erstmal kein Reset geben bis Season 1. Also Ranked soll Seasons bekommen. Ich glaube, in League of Legends ist es genauso. Wir sollen Seasons bekommen, Ranked Seasons. Und mit Season 1 gibt es ein Hard Reset.
Until then, and that is because we want the full cast of supporting systems to be in Ranked until we...
Und bevor die das resetten, wollen die alle Mechaniken, die sie noch im Kopf haben, erst integrieren. Erst wenn der Ranked-Mode komplett fertig ist, gibt es auch dann quasi den Reset. Und dann geht's los.
I'm going to go over kind of what those features are that we will be looking to add to Ranked before actually doing a proper split. And then, but we have done a couple of things in 1.2 for Ranked specifically. So we've...
Aber trotz alledem werden mit 1.2 eine Menge Änderungen im Ranked-Mode stattfinden.
Removed the requirement to win a match to progress through a tier. So for example, if you're going from gold 3 to gold 2 and you're at 100 and something BP, you don't have to win a game. It will just...
Oh, Lederlappen, alles klar. Ich wünsche dir eine ruhige Schicht, ne? Bis später. Lass die Zeit schnell umgehen. Und kannst ja dann den Devstream auf Deutsch quasi nochmal im VOD nachgucken oder dann übermorgen, also morgen brauchst du noch zum Schneiden von dem Video und übermorgen werde ich es hochladen. Übermorgen gibt es dann den Devstream auf Deutsch auf YouTube zu sehen.
Automatically roll over. So if I'm 90 VP and I win and I gain 20, I will go straight to 10 VP at the next tier. So there's no more like the requirement to win a match to progress through a tier. So for example, if you're going from gold 3 to gold 2 and you're at 100 and something VP, you don't have to win a game. It will just automatically roll over. So if I'm 90 VP and I win and I gain 20, I will go straight to 10 VP at the next tier. So there's no more like requirement to win.
Okay, also wenn ich es richtig verstanden habe, wollen die dieses Promotion-Ding weglassen. Quasi wie der Übergang von Dia 1 zu Paragon. Fließender Übergang. Bedeutet, du hast 998 VP, ist glaube ich Gold 1 und gehst dann mit einem Win auf die 108 VP, dann bist du Platin 3 in dem Moment und hast nicht mehr diese Promo. Weiß ja was gesagt wurde? Mein Englisch ist ziemlich... Okay, perfekt. Perfekt. Dann bis später, Digga. Schön, dass du da warst.
The win still exists if you're going between like actual tier or actual ranks though. So like if I'm going from gold to platinum, you still will have to win that one.
Okay. In den Zwischenrängen, also von Gold 3 auf Gold 2, von Gold 2 auf Gold 1, gibt es das Ganze ohne das Promotion-Match. Aber wenn ihr dann von Gold zu Platin wechselt, habt ihr immer noch euer Promotion-Match.
Promotional game. There's also a live updating ranked leaderboard in the client. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should show your rank.
Hab ich das richtig gehört?
There's also a live updating ranked leaderboard in the client.
Oh, in the client.
And
okay, bedeutet, es wird jetzt integriert, ihr müsst nicht mehr, um das Leaderboard zu sehen, in Omega City reinhauen, sondern ihr könnt das Ganze auch in-game nachschauen. Ihr solltet immer noch Omega City nutzen, allein um Statistiken, Builds und alles Mögliche zu checken, aber trotzdem habt ihr hier die schnelle Möglichkeit quasi, einmal darüber zu switchen.
This, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should show your rank, your VP, the platform you play on, your name, and it might have support for your profile icon and banner in there as well. I'm not too sure on that one.
Da kommt jetzt gleich eine 1 Minute 30 Werbung reingeknallt, Leute. Sorry für die Werbung. Für die Non-Subs würde ich jetzt einfach 1 Minute 30 dann kurz Pause machen, damit die dann auch mit weiter gucken können. schnappt euch schnell was zu trinken, geht auf Toilette, geht sofort weiter. So lang tanzen wir. Du sollst nicht tanzen. Du sollst dich auskurieren. Du sollst dich auskurieren. Und nicht tanzen. Mann, Mann, Mann. Du sollst dich doch auskurieren und nicht tanzen. Ja, okay. Alles rausschwitzen, sagst du beim Tanzen. Soll auch funktionieren. Soll auch funktionieren. Noch 20 Sekunden Werbung. Ich hasse Werbung, ich schwör's dir. Ich hasse Werbung einfach. Keiner mag dich, Werbung. Geh doch einfach. 2, 1, 0. Willkommen zurück, Non-Subs. Peace.
That's still a little bit prototype, so I'm not sure.
Hey, Molo, du geiles Stück DNA, Mann. Moin, moin. Was geht?
And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should show your rank, your VP, the platform you play on.
Er sagt gerade, also wir sind jetzt immer noch bei dem Leaderboard, was wir in-game angezeigt bekommen.
Live updating ranked leaderboard in the client. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should show your rank, your VP, the platform you.
Also es zeigt deinen Rang an, deine VP an, die Plattform, auf der du spielst,
play on, your name,
dein Name.
and it might have support for your profile icon and banner in there as well.
Und er glaubt, dass sein
Not too
Profil-Icon
sure on
auch
that
da
one.
mit drin
It's
ist.
still a little bit prototype, so I'm not sure. That, and we're adding a system where if players load into the game AFK, so either they didn't load, disconnected, just left, whatever, it will auto abort and not count the match, like the match will never existed. So no win, no loss, doesn't appear on your record.
Ganz wichtig. Ganz wichtig.
That, and we're adding a system where if players load into the game AFK, so either
Wenn Spieler AFK in ein Spiel reinladen, müsst ihr nicht mehr hier irgendwie dann Surrender-Shit oder sonst irgendwas, sondern das System erkennt das und wird das Match abbrechen. Es gibt kein Win, kein Lose oder sonst irgendwas zugerechnet, sondern ihr habt einfach nur das Match abgebrochen und könnt ein neues starten. Ihr müsst euch nicht ärgern, dass irgendwas passiert
they
ist.
didn't load,
Also das Quality of Life.
disconnected, just left, whatever, it will auto abort and not count the match, like the match will never existed. So no win, no loss, doesn't appear on your record, it never happened. That being said, so those are things we're adding.
Aber Auto-Report ist dumm. Wieso? Geht dann ans System und die checken, ob das ein Hardware-Ding war oder ob er selber Alt F4 gedrückt hat. Und können das dann auswerten. Das Update in kurz, ihr mögt LOL. Hier habt ihr LOL. Ja, und wenn sie es nicht bringen, sagen sie, selbst so ein uraltes Spiel wie LOL hat so Sachen. Verstehst du, was ich meine? Alle sagen, wir wollen den Kram, weil selbst League hat den Kram und jetzt bekommt man den Kram und jetzt kommen andere Leute raus und sagen, ja, ist wie League jetzt auf einmal. DC und Wirst reported, als ob die das beachten. Ja, natürlich.
So the things
Ist
that
doch
we're looking
mittlerweile mit der heutigen Technik super
to add
easy.
for season 1.
Einfach in den Algorithmus schreiben, dass der das da rausfiltert, warum der rausgedingst ist. Und schon weißt du, ob du es als Bann oder sonst was werten musst.
Will be, so we're planning on doing a year-long season when we start that will have 4 splits. The period of which those splits will actually split is not yet determined, but there should be 4. And a split is defined by a length of time where you can climb the leaderboard, climb the ladder, progress through the ranks, and when that finishes, that will be the period of time that like denotes what rewards you'll get.
Also ich will kein LOL, ich will ein uniques Game. Es gibt keine uniken Games. Es gibt Sachen, die haben sich in der Gaming-Industrie durchgesetzt, die funktionieren gut und auf denen basierend werden neue Sachen entwickelt. League of Legends ist einfach Asbach uralt. Ich habe allein keinen Bock drauf, das zu zocken, weil die Grafik so scheiße ist. Weil es so top-down ist und sowas. Verstehst du? Ich spiele liebend gerne ein League of Legends. Also ich würde League of Legends gerne spielen, weil es halt einfach schon viel mehr Content hat als Brad. Aber ich spiele es nicht, weil es mir einfach keinen Bock macht. Mit dieser Top-Down-Grafik und alles. Sieht alles nicht so toll aus. Gefällt mir einfach nicht so. Also ich hätte gern ein League in Brad. Quasi. Weil ein League funktioniert gut. Das ganze Ding, kannst du nicht verleugnen, ist einfach Banger. Das ist eins der meistgespielten Spiele weltweit und es ist einfach ein gutes Spiel. Wenn Pratt nur annähernd dahin kommt, mit dieser geilen Grafik, dann bin ich zufrieden. Deadlock ist unique. Deadlock ist zum Beispiel was unique ist, was Neues, aber gefällt mir halt absolut gar nicht. Ich finde es nicht gutes Game. Aber wenn du ein uniques Game willst und sagst, Deadlock ist unique, dann let's go. Go for Deadlock, Bro. LOL ist unique, Smite ist unique. Wo ist Smite unique? Smite ist überhaupt nicht unique. Smite ist einfach nur so eine Zwischenstufe aus League, Dota und Pred. Das ist so irgendwas da in der Mitte. Sowas Halbfertiges ist es meiner Meinung nach. Pred braucht nur eine Mechanik, die kein MOBA hat. Haben wir. Alles in 3D. Alles mit Springen und Elevation. Ist komplett unique.
And then there will be some type of soft reset.
Gibt's in keinem MOBA.
To
Overwatch ja, aber Overwatch würde ich halt nicht wirklich mit so einem Ding vergleichen.
Before the next split. So things we want to do are increasing the VP.
Ich weiß, ich habe das Gefühl, dass Grandmaster in jedem Stream einfach immer Brett nur schlecht reden will. Und ich habe auch das Gefühl, dass ich den irgendwie bald einfach für ein paar Monate timeoute, weil ich kann es nicht mehr lesen.
Understand and recognize that AFK,
Du bist, also Kritik ist in Ordnung, vollkommen. Kritik ist vollkommen in Ordnung, aber du bist halt nur am Kritisieren so irgendwie und irgendwie bin ich es auch leid.
Period of which those splits will actually split is not yet determined, but there should be 4. And a split is defined by a length of time.
So, jetzt der Hate vorbei. Jetzt widmen wir uns wieder dem Devstream.
Where you can climb the leaderboard, climb the ladder, progress through the ranks, and when that finishes, that will be the period of time that like denotes what rewards you'll get. And then there will be some type of soft reset to rank before the next split.
Also, wir werden dann verschiedene Splits bekommen und am Ende der Splits im Prinzip wie schon gesagt, ne, es ist sehr League of Legends-artig. Du hast nach dem Split hast du einen Rang, da gibt es einen Soft Reset und du bekommst dann quasi Belohnungen für deinen Rang, den du erreicht hast. Ganz normales Belohnungssystem quasi für dein Grind. Das heißt, wir haben Grind-Belohnung Nummer 1, den Battle Pass jetzt, den wir reinbekommen. Und wir haben Grind-Belohnung Nummer 2 ist quasi dann die Split Rewards.
Increasing the VP penalty for AFK players. So we all, understand and recognize that being AFK is a huge problem in ranked, and we want to, mitigate that as much as possible. So people going AFK will get hit with significant VP penalties for that.
So, AFK-Leute werden in Zukunft dann auch extreme VP-Abzüge bekommen.
And also, if you're on the team with an AFK player and you lose that match, you're going to mitigate the amount of VP that you lose.
So, und wenn du in dem Team bist, in dem einer AFK gegangen ist und das Match dadurch verloren wird, bekommst du nicht so viel VP
By
abgezogen.
some percentage.
Das heißt, du bekommst halt nicht so hart auf die Mütze dann quasi.
Furthermore, we want to add position swapping, hero swapping, and role swapping in draft. So that's all three things that you.
Alle 3 Swap-Arten kommen jetzt mit in den Draft rein. Roll Swap, Pick Order und Champ Swap. Die AFK-Angriffe, die sind wichtig. Die sind ganz wichtig.
You can choose.
Die Leute gehen wir hatten gestern erst wieder so ein Match. Da ist einer nach 3-4 Minuten mit 0-2 einfach AFK gegangen. Wirklich. Der ist einfach raus. Es war gar kein Grund. Es war absolut gar kein Grund dazu und er war einfach weg und unser Rank-Match war halt durch dadurch. Ne? Ich hatte Zuschauer im Stream, die haben gefragt, ist das ranked? Die waren sich nicht sicher. Die haben gedacht, okay, im Casual kann einer mal so schnell mental gehen oder vielleicht schnell abhauen oder so. Kein Ding. Das war halt tatsächlich ranked, wo der das gemacht hat. Ich hoffe, abwechselnde Bans. Müssen wir mal weiter durchhören. Ich bin der Meinung, wir kriegen Double Bans. Ich weiß aber nicht, ob wir abwechselnde bekommen. Müssen wir mal gucken.
You to select a player that you want to swap a role with. For example, jungle is the most important one because once you're assigned jungle, you have hunt, right? So that means you're locked in. You can't just.
Genau, das ist das Problem, was wir im Moment oft haben. Der Jungle geht auf Jungle, aber fühlt sich auch dazu in der Lage, jetzt zum Beispiel auf die Offlane zu gehen und der Offlaner sagt, oh, ich kann absolut gar keine Offlane, Bruder, bitte, kann ich in Jungle? Du bist gelockt auf den Jungle. Wenn du Jungle hast, bist du der Einzige mit deinem Smite. Und das bedeutet, du kannst nicht mehr mit irgendjemandem swappen. Du bist festgenagelt auf dieser Position. Das wird halt damit auch umgangen. Ne? Du kannst als Jungler dann auch nochmal im Draft deine Rolle abgeben.
Switch. This will allow you to switch that role, and then whoever
Super wichtig.
accepted will now get the jungle role.
Abwechselnde Bands ist eigentlich ein Knopfdruck. Ich verstehe nicht, warum das nicht schon längst drin ist. So. Ne? Aber ja, passieren gerade ein paar wichtige Sachen. Ich gebe mich damit erstmal zufrieden. So. Man sieht, dass sie an den richtigen Stellen arbeiten. Das finde ich schon mal gut.
Swapping hero, same thing. Once 2 players have locked in a hero, should both players own both heroes, they can swap those heroes. And then same thing with position. So as long as a player has not picked, you can swap position with anyone who hasn't picked. We've got some more stuff here as well.
Ja, du hast halt im Ranked ist Mitte, Jungle, Carry, so die 3 Positionen, womit du ein Match am krassesten entscheiden kannst. Deshalb werden die sehr oft und gerne gepickt.
So we want to increase the visibility of the ranked flare on the home screen. So currently the.
Und ja, Pre-Picks, also Pre-Roll-Picks wären halt noch super nice, ne? Dass ich sage, ich gehe absolut nicht auf die Duo-Lane. Dass ich mir aussagen kann, so von wegen, ich will rein queuen als Jungle, Mitte, Offlane. Und ich dementsprechend gematcht werde.
The only way to view your ranked flare, which is the little gold circle or platinum circle with the amount of VP in it in your tier, is to actually click into the mode selection and then see it there. We want to add it like front and center. If you have ranked open, you see this thing there. Should be obvious to everybody when you're watching your screen.
Ich mag Carry nicht. Wenn ich Schaden machen will, spiele ich Mitte.
And you know what rank you are, what VP you're at. So that's pretty exciting. We're going to introduce a second ban into ranked. And yeah,
Und man muss dazu sagen, Carry ist mit Controller die einfachste Rolle. Habe ich mir jetzt von vielen sagen lassen, die auch mit Controller spielen. ADC ist mit Controller die einfachste Rolle, die am besten zu spielendste Rolle.
We're going to be introducing a second ban into ranked. We believe we have enough heroes in the game now to do that, so both sides will be able to ban 2 heroes. This should work the same way as it does now. It will just take the top 2 voted heroes and ban them. A decay system. We're looking into adding a decay system at the high end, so whether this starts at high diamond or paragon, it's not really decided yet, but essentially the way this will work is the less you play the game at high rank, you will slowly bleed out like VP from your rank. And this is in order to keep the system essentially balanced. Like, this means you won't be able to just get paragon and then stop playing. Like, you have to play to maintain paragon if you want the rewards at the end of the season or end of the split. Region.
Okay, das ist so ein neues System, was für die Diamond-Paragon-Leute dann kommen soll, aber da wird dann nochmal genau drauf eingehen in einem anderen Devstream, wenn das mit den Splits kommt.
Unlocking is another huge thing for Season 1. We want players to be able to play across regions with their friends, so like if I'm in North America and I have some friends in Europe and I want to play with them, we don't want to restrict your ability to
Duo-Lane lernen macht mir am meisten Spaß. Ja, die Duo-Lane macht ja, also dadurch, dass du die Duo-Lane magst und Spaß da hast, lernst du auch am meisten dort. Das geht mir halt in der Mitte und im Jungle so, ne? Ich nehme da viel mit, weil da bin ich hyped, da bin ich gerne drinne und da lerne ich dann auch viel. Das hat so ein bisschen was mit dem Mental dann zu tun, einfach mit dem Lane-Mental.
But the rank that you have will be locked to the server that you're playing on, or should be. This is the idea. So, for example, I can be, bronze 3 in Europe, but if I'm playing in North America, I can be platinum 1. Just depends on, what region you're playing on. And lastly, pretty exciting, super unconfirmed, but something we'd really like to do is merge North America East and North America West into North America Central to essentially just improve matchmaking, player population, just everything for something we'd really like one. Just depends on, what region you're playing on. And lastly, pretty exciting, super unconfirmed, but something we'd really like to do is merge North America East and North America West into North America Central to essentially just improve.
Oh, okay. Das ist halt uncool für uns EU-Leute. Die hauen die kompletten Ami-Server, also Ostküste, Westküste, bla blub, hauen die alle zusammen auf einen Server. Ich glaube, die werden dann halt irgendwas Zentrales nehmen vom Server her, dass jeder vom Ping her cool ist. Das bedeutet für uns, wir haben dann wahrscheinlich nicht mehr den 100er, sondern den 140er Ping zum Ami-Server und können dementsprechend da nicht mehr spielen. Ich hoffe, da lassen sie sich noch was einfallen, weil es gibt halt auch oft Turniere, wo EU gegen NA spielt und da muss der Server halt irgendwo in der Mitte liegen.
Matchmaking, player population, just everything for North America, and that will also really improve the ranked experience. And that is pretty much all I have to go.
Ja, die hatten zu wenig auf NA West. Ja, weil NA West konnte halt auch gut auf NA East spielen und EU-Leute haben ja auch viel auf NA East gespielt. Das heißt, da war immer viel los, da war immer viel Traffic.
Over for ranked this time.
Awesome. I think, that was
Das ist
super
eine gute
comprehensive.
Frage, warum die keine bekommen.
Just a few things on the leaderboard. I believe that will show the top 500 players, but it will also show where you are relative to them, so you can see how much you need to climb, and then eventually we'll look at expanding on that. But this is
Okay, das Leaderboard wird erstmal nur die Top 500 anzeigen und dich quasi. Das heißt, man sieht dann ungefähr, wie weit man noch climben
just
muss,
the
bis
first
man da ist.
introduction, and a lot of what you mentioned is coming.
Server-Merch finde ich, ja, muss man aber halt gucken, was die mit dem Server-Merch jetzt machen, ob die müssen eigentlich die NA East Server offen halten, damit Europa gut mit Amerika zusammenspielen kann. Verstehst du, was ich meine? Auf Turnierbasis. Also jetzt nicht, dass ich da bei denen auf Rank queuen kann, sondern da geht es jetzt rein drum, um die Turniere.
In Season 1.
Also klar, Server-Merge an sich gut,
But
aber aus Turniersicht muss man halt gucken, dass das
I think it's worth mentioning that
Dass das
swapping
funktioniert.
position, hero, and role in draft, the goal is to ship that way before Season 1.
Yeah, makes sense. So, I mean, obviously the banning is pretty cool. I mean, I think everything that we've got cooking for it is pretty awesome. There's one thing I'm trying to remember what it was that I was like, I need to point this out again, but I can't remember what it was.
I missed something actually, Mark.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, placements. Totally forgot about that. This is something we also want for Season 1. Is a placement system. The amount of games is undetermined yet, but in order to actually qualify for rank rewards, right, there should be like a certain amount of games that you have to play that will then place you in a tier in a division. So yeah.
That's also cool. Yeah, because we've seen that. That's very
Okay, Placement
very
wird nochmal
similar to
verändert.
what I was thinking actually. Because I mean, a lot
Das
of
heißt also, wie man eingerankt wird.
feedback we got when we first put ranked out was about the lack of placements and about the tier up promos, right? So I think it's just another one of those things of like, you know, looking at community feedback and just kind of taking action on them, just kind of highlighting it. You know, it's one of those things. You know, your feedback is always listened to, and yeah, you know, we're trying to get stuff in as fast as we can, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool rank changes. I'm kind of sad. I'm never going to see myself on the leaderboard. Never, with only 500 people.
Well, you might in testing, right? When there's only 90 people at the company, I'd hope you'd be on that leaderboard.
I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe, but I feel like I'd probably be like 90th, and that'd just be really sad. You know?
Ja, ich denke auch.
It's, I don't know. I keep wanting, I keep asking like Import or Cynic to train me, but we've not been able to sort that out yet. I did have Alex Felton go through a replay with me once, and that was fun. That was a good experience.
Well, fortunately, you know a guy that designed the rank system, so if you're nice to him, maybe he'll hook you up. We'll
very
see.
true. It's very true. It's worth doing. It's worth doing. Yeah, awesome. Do either of you have anything else to add on to the rank stuff before we move on?
No,
Er fragt gerade, ob es jetzt zum Rank-Zeugs noch irgendwas gibt, bevor wir zum nächsten Thema wechseln.
I think that covers everything. There's some other stuff that we can maybe talk about later on as we get through the stream.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Let's see. I knew I was gonna mess this thing up. I was meant to put this on. Hold on, look. I was meant to do that. Just change the thing to say ranked mode. Didn't do it. I knew it. As soon as I set this up, I was like, I'm not going to remember.
I'm
to
sure
do it.
chat was so confused. They're like, what were these guys talking about for the last 2 minutes? But now you made it clear. I'm sure they know it's ranked mode.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I'm going to have to take it off now because we're stopped talking about ranked mode. So that's fun. So next up, I don't know if chat remember, but I think it was like maybe just before 1.0, it must have been, that we were talking about the early access skins. And I wanted to give a little bit of an update on what's going on with them as soon as I find my actual notes on them. There you go. Right, I found them. Okay,
there we go.
So we put a poll out a little while ago asking people for input on how we can make good on our promise to make the exclusive EA skins available to everybody who played in early access. But there were people that also didn't have access to the early access bundles at the time. It's a lot of the word access there. So we put a poll out asking what people thought. We got some really, really good feedback. And effectively, a lot of the feedback was like, hey, why don't you do some variants of them? And we thought that was a really cool idea. So that is what we've done. And I'm going to show you some. I'm going to show you some right now. I'm delaying because I'm scared that the scene isn't going to work. There you go. I kind of blagged it. So
jetzt kommen Early Access Bundles.
these are some of the new Early Access Bundles variants. They're very, very cool. They're very, very nice.
Oh.
And
And
they
the
will
man.
be
What's up, my boy?
available. I think we're aiming for 1.2x, but it's unsure at the moment. So that's the aim.
Oh, der ist hübsch.
Might not happen. We will confirm it at a later date.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it'd be cool to show you some of the skins anyway, because I think they look really cool. Red Crunch, by the way, super favorite, and Blue Steel. Oh, I'm definitely playing the Blue Steel one. That's like, I'm a big fan. What, guys, favorite of these?
I think the Red Crunch is pretty clean, to be honest. I really like that.
Yeah, this is going to be Red Crunch for me as well.
Yeah. I get it. Obviously, Chimera's got another Crux Pelt, which it makes a lot of
Muriel
Crux
Skin,
pelts
ja, das
that
war mir klar,
Chimera's
dass du den
been collecting,
feierst.
and I'm not gonna lie, as a Crux
Das war mir
enjoyer, it
klar.
kind of makes me a little bit
Der
sad.
ist hübsch. Und den hab ich
It's
ja
fine.
dann.
We won't hold it against him.
Den hab ich ja
So
dann.
yeah, it was
Ich
kind
freu
of just
mich.
like a quick little heads up, if you like, that we haven't forgotten. We've been developing them, and they are coming soon. So exciting
They are
times.
coming soon.
I keep losing all of my time. I know I'm kind of commentating on how badly I'm organizing this, by the way, and it's part of the experience, isn't it? So I lost chat for a second there. It's so many tabs open. So yeah, exciting times. We've
Finde ich cool, die
got,
Skins.
oh, next up is a good one. Yeah, you guys know what's good. In 1.2, we're gonna move on.
Hab mit meiner riesen Nase das Mikrofon geschlagen.
We have a few changes to some gameplay stuff, which is pretty exciting for me. Like when I was reading through all of this, I found it very, very.
Roker, das verstehst du ein wenig falsch. Das sind neue für die alten Bundles nicht holen konnten, beziehungsweise nicht hatten. What? Yo, G, Mann, was geht? Alles fit bei dir, Bro? Ach, wait.
Very intriguing. So first up, there are some changes to buffs, right, Demonde?
Wo sind wir? 36:05 gehen die Buffs los.
I'm not gonna lie. And we thought that was a really cool idea, because I'm scared that the scene isn't going to work. There you go. I kind of blagged it. So these are some of the new Early Access Bundles variants. They're very, very cool. They're very, very nice. And they will be available. I think we're aiming for 1.2x, but it's unsure at the moment. So that's the aim. Might not happen. We will confirm it at a later date. But I thought it'd be cool to show you some of the skins anyway, because I think they look really cool. Red Crunch, by the way, is our idea. So that is what we've done. The feedback was like, hey, why don't you? So we put a poll out asking what people thought. We got some really, really good feedback, and effectively a lot of the feedback was like, hey, why don't you do some variants of them? And we thought that was a really cool idea. So that is what we've done. And
so.
I'm going to show you some.
Okay.
I'm going to show you some right now. I'm delaying because I'm scared that.
Ja, okay, aber akzeptiere ich. Finde ich gut. Finde ich okay. Bin ich jetzt nicht mad drum oder sowas. Bin ich jetzt nicht mad drum.
Yes, sir. There are
Und jetzt kommen wir zu den
changes to buffs. Specifically
Jetzt kommen wir zu den
with,
Buffy Buffs.
with river bugs, yeah. So river bugs at 21 minutes will now evolve into bigger river bugs that do more damage.
Also ab Minute 21 spawnen dann ab 1.2 die neuen River Buffs. Die neuen River Buffs werden auf jeden Fall viel mehr aushalten und auch viel mehr austeilen.
Damage to you, like actual damage now. Take actual damage to kill so that you can't just one-shot them and give a more significant buff. So I'll walk
Und dafür bekommst du halt einfach einen krasseren Buff.
you through the 4 buffs that we've got.
Wir gehen jetzt
the
mal die
gray
4
buff
Buffs durch.
normally just gives movement speed, will now give an increased amount of out-of-combat movement speed as well.
Du bekommst Movement Speed dazu durch den Grey Buff und ab 21. Minute durch den krassen grauen Buff bekommst du zu dem Movement Speed noch zusätzlich Out of Combat Movement Speed. Also während du gerade nicht am Fighten bist und nur rumläufst, bekommst du nochmal einen Boost drauf.
So before you were zooming, now you're going to be turbo zooming. We've got
We love
pink.
turbo zooming.
We got the pink bug, which before just gave you ability damage.
So, pinker Buff, magischer
Now it gives you
Damage,
more ability damage and ability haste.
gibt dir jetzt mehr Magical Power, also mehr magische Kraft dazu und zusätzlich noch
So
Abklingzeit,
the
Reduzierung.
Thronos abilities are even quicker. The green bug gives a shield, now gives more shield and
Ja, der Schild gab, gibt jetzt einfach.
explodes when it is depleted. So like in a radius around you, it'll explode, dealing damage.
Ah, okay. Jetzt kriegst du mehr Shield aus dem Green Buff, aber das explodiert auch,
And slow. It'll
wenn es
also slow
kaputt
when
gemacht wird und
explodes.
slowed.
And then the orange bug
Geil.
was attack speed, and now that adds Omnivamp on top of the attack speed.
Und der Orange Buff ist halt jetzt krass, weil der Orange Buff, der macht jetzt Attack Speed und der große gibt jetzt zusätzlich halt noch Omnivamp dazu. Das ist
You'll be
heftig.
healing as well with that bug.
I'm a big fan
not
of these, by the
only-
way. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah, like one of the thinking behind this was the river bugs get pretty boring like 20 plus minutes into the game. So when at least when I play as a mid lane, I'm often contesting these buffs, but there's a point in time where I'm like, I don't really need to go for these things anymore. And so one of the things that I spoke to the designers was like, what if we just made them evolve as the game progresses? And I think this is a really interesting change.
Ich finde auch, das ist eine gute
to make
Änderung.
it feel like these are something that you don't always have to get them, and they're not going to define the game, but there's something nice that you can get that kind of evolve as you power up. The game and the map around you is
Ja, die
powering
sind
up as
größer.
well.
Größer,
so I think it's a
stärker.
really cool change that the team have done. And yeah, excited to see what people think when they play it, because
geben
I think
halt
it's
richtig
really
geile
cool
Buffs.
because you can
Guck mal,
add more
was der für
power into
Schläge
them the later
verteilt.
the game goes. You can also like, who I give this to
Der
might
gibt
matter
ungefähr
more,
das
like,
an Schild
if
wieder,
I
was
want
er
a
dir
hero
weghaut an
that's like
Leben.
an assassin to run someone down with the move speed buff, that's great. Or if I want, more attack speed or the Omnivamp on my carry, I think that makes it way more exciting. So yeah, really excited to see what people think of this change.
You know, I was taking these videos and I was genuinely shocked at how chunky these bugs are. Like I was doing it with UI off, and I think it's showing here, right? I didn't know how much health I had, and then I just started to I wasn't killing the bug, and then I just started getting the red effect on my screen. I was like, this thing's gonna kill me. Like, it was absolutely shocking. Also, question, Demonde, I don't know if you follow our Twitter.
Ja, sicher, fressen oder gefressen werden.
But we did put a tweet out a few months ago saying that one day we were going to make the river buffs fight back, and then you'll be sorry. I just want to find out, was it that tweet that made this happen?
I don't actually think it was that tweet that made this happen. Sorry to say, I don't actually use
I think
Twitter
it was.
myself. But yeah, there is more. So when you actually kill a player with buffs on them, it will transfer
Jetzt wird's wild, Leute.
to the player. Sorry, if you kill a player with buffs, then you will get their buffs.
Habt ihr gehört? Wenn ihr jetzt jemanden tötet, der einen Buff hatte, bekommt ihr seinen Buff.
They will transfer over to you.
Der Buff ist endlich nicht mehr weg, sondern ihr habt den dann. Das heißt, euch klaut jemand irgendwo einen Buff, ihr tötet den, ihr habt den Buff
And you'll be
trotzdem.
given like an allotted amount of time to hold that buff. So there should just be a lot more variance and a lot more buffs kind of floating around, because people can just kill each other and trade them around. So yeah, having all of these buffs in the game for longer should just add to match variance and make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more spicy. Game will be a little bit different. That and kind of
Ich
fitting
auch,
under this
Mann. Der wird
category,
richtig
we
guter
have
Battle
empowered
Pass.
Orb Prime Recall. So
Hey, moin Bo, grüß dich. Das mit dem Buff war, glaube ich, früher bei Paragon doch auch so.
what that
I
means
love
is
this one.
essentially you kill Orb Prime.
Oh. Nice, geht das dann auch mit Prime? Das ist actually eine gute
and then
Frage.
your recall speed doubles. The reason for this is you take this objective, you want to start pushing,
Nee,
but
ne?
you probably want to spend the gold that you got
Doch,
from
war ein OG
usually
Para?
fighting the enemy team at Orb Prime as that
Boah, da
happens.
erinnere ich mich gerade gar nicht so
So you
dran.
recall
Sorry.
and you spend your gold, get stronger, and then hop out on the map quicker and push. This is another reason for this is like we found that in testing players were not able to
Grüß dich, Walton. Wird noch beantwortet. Prime geht nicht an die Gegner. Also Prime und Primal Fangtooth wandern nicht über.
push like quite well enough without like getting back to base. You can get onto the map quicker. Use the actual full duration of the Orb Prime buff and push. This is another reason for this is like we found that in testing players were not able to push like quite well enough without like getting back to base. You can get onto the map quicker. Use the actual full duration of the Orb Prime buff.
Yeah, I think this one is really cool because the VFX and the sound and all that stuff changes, so that's quite nice. But yeah, it's kind of what Demone was saying. Often you play the game, you do Prime, and then you kind of have to go back to base, reset. It was like it would just extend the game kind of unnecessarily, and I think now this just gives this nice feeling of like
Also es ist auf
I
jeden
got
Fall
all
ein
Prime
bisschen
and I
schneller
can kind of
dadurch.
continue the action, go back and get out really quickly. It shouldn't be like this massive thing that you've achieved in the game, one of the biggest objectives, and then it goes back all the way down. So I think this is really excited. And again, one of the changes I'm excited for people to see. In fact, I think it's like all these changes plus all the other stuff we're going to talk about just like massively changes up how the game is going to play.
Ja.
So
Also das Spiel
yeah,
wird
I
sich
think
ganz
it's
anders
gonna be
spielen
really
lassen
exciting.
danach.
Yeah, it really does. I wanted to touch on the sound effect.
Fängt der Timer bei einem geklauten, eroberten Buff bei 0 an?
X
Nee,
and stuff
Buff-Timer wird mit
like that
abgegeben.
as well for this recall because they're so cool. And
Hey,
I'm
Kapostel, was geht, mein
absolutely
Hübscher?
gutted that I couldn't get a video of it. Like I did get one, but I realized as I was putting it into the stream program that I accidentally revealed the new hero in it. So
well,
couldn't do it.
I'm sure you can post it on Twitter and chat wouldn't mind if you share it in coming days or weeks.
I mean, it's not like I've not accidentally leaked a hero before on TikTok.
That wasn't accidentally. We were testing the community, right? We were seeing
Yeah, no, 100. It was yeah, totally. It was intentional. It was
Hat er wirklich? Hat er wirklich aus Versehen auf TikTok schon einen Helden geleakt?
intentional leak, 100%.
Hör auf. Hat Stax wirklich schon einen Helden geleakt gehabt aus Versehen?
Have we got any other
Grimmexe damals, ehrlich.
buff change? That's the buff changes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Der
Yeah,
läuft
yeah.
die.
that's all the buff changes. So to recap, we've
Oh,
added
yeah.
evolving river bugs. So they'll now evolve for 21 minutes, I believe, and then buffs will now transfer on kill. And then when you kill all prime, you will now be able to use your empowered recall. And I think that also applies to mini. So whoever kills the mini prime will also be able to recall faster as
Also es gibt auf jeden Fall dann den Empowered Recall.
Yeah. Oh, and to be clear, Orb Prime will not transfer. That is a buff that doesn't transfer when you
Ja, hier sagt das jetzt auch nochmal. Orb Prime ist ein Buff, der nicht
kill
transferiert.
players with it.
Yeah,
Just to be
that's a
super
good thing to point out. So the transferring ones, are they river buffs and red and blue?
I believe so, yeah.
Makes
River
sense.
Buffs,
Makes
Red
sense.
und Blue.
Lovely. Yeah, I like it. I'm seeing chat
die
being
Buffs,
like,
die
just do it.
übertragen werden.
Just leak the new hero. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. You know, it's I want to. I want to feel that power, but no, I can't do it. I just can't. What would Robbie say?
Er hat einen schwarzen Balken über die Auswahl gemacht, aber der ging einfach halbe Sekunde vor Szenenwechsel schon wieder stark, Stacks.
What would Robbie say?
I would leak it. So
I know you would, Robbie. Brilliant. Okay. Next
Er ist
up,
einfach Vollblut-Profi.
we've got some changes to projectiles happening. Robbie Demonde, which one of you would like to take this one?
I'm happy to start and then hand it to Devonde. I guess I can just speak on it from more of like a personal pain point, which probably a lot of people feel, and then I'll hand it to Devonde. So basically, one of the things that we wanted to do in the past, but didn't really have because of the changes we had to make, we didn't really have much capacity, was the projectile speed. We always felt like you had to lean shots a lot, and it made it pretty difficult. So and we noticed this, just as we were playing, and also a lot of feedback from players in terms of projectile feel, responsiveness. And so now we had a bit more capacity. We could really look at the projectiles. And so we bumped up the speed quite significantly. I think it might be like 3 times faster or something like that. So
Ich wollte gerade sagen, die Projektile fliegen noch viel schneller, oder?
Feel way more responsive. And I think just from a feel point of view, you definitely notice the difference. So hoping that's going to help players, especially the range heroes, land their basic attacks.
Ja, wichtig ist es mal zu sehen in der Bewegung, wie das Projektil dann fliegt, wenn beide sich mal so im Kreis
Much
bewegen
more
oder so.
frequently, without feeling like.
Das hätten sie da ruhig mal demonstrieren können, so im Kreis laufen um den Stil rum und dabei schießen.
They were on.
Oh, was ist denn jetzt, Discord? Kannst du dich mal beruhigen? Schaltung stumm schalten. Für 1 Stunde.
The target, but the target was moving, and because they didn't lead enough, they didn't land it. So I think this is going to be a really nice like quality of life change.
Yeah, absolutely. This change also came from like the
Ja,
so
auf
there's
jeden
a couple
Fall.
things, right? Sometimes you'll have like people that play carry will know what I'm talking about. If you have a lane of
Nee,
minions
es ist
that's
eher,
running in a straight
ist ja
line and you're
eher
like
die
90 degrees
Projectile
perpendicular to
Time.
that
Also es
line,
ist ja
you're aiming at a minion.
einfach
you're not
nur das
hitting it.
Projektil,
It's like
was jetzt
that's
beschleunigt
kind of
wurde.
not okay.
Nicht der Scan.
So we wanted to move the skill from predicting where things are going to be into just aiming at the thing you want to hit, which is probably the better form of skill expression for players that are sending out a lot of basic attacks. And yes, it is 3x the speed. You're correct on that as well.
Yeah. I think one, it's like it doesn't if you can't aim already, you're probably still gonna miss, right? Like that's the key thing. We didn't want to make it like auto aim. So if you can't aim, you're still gonna miss. It now really solves those cases where you were clearly aiming at someone, you shot, and then you didn't hit them even though you're clearly aiming at them. This isn't gonna solve for people who just can't aim. And also this is on projectiles as well. So it's not just basic attacks. We sped up some other projectiles as well, just to make sure they didn't feel too slow relative to basic attacks. So we have adjusted that, and we'll share more details of like all the adjustments we made in the patch notes. But it's projectiles,
Die Patch
not
Notes,
just
die werden
basic
so
attacks that got changed.
riesig.
So to clarify, Robbie, I still won't be able to hit a target. This won't fix that.
We tried, but
yeah, I mean, I've been requesting it for months, but it's fine if you want to go that way.
You requested lock-on auto attacks. We just increased projectile speed. So
yeah, I want every ability to be like Moragesh's.
There are people in the world who want lock on everything.
Let me just set your rank to bronze 3 real quick.
Probably be an improvement on mine to Monday, to be honest, man. It's it's fine. But look, Muragesh is fun. And I'm not going to take it back. So I'm waiting for people to get upset with me. There you go. Steg's #1 player in my heart. There. See? Yeah. Well, do you know? We've been talking about like I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. Sorry. We've been talking about what other streams we want to do, and one of the issues that we've got is that we're a remote studio, so we're sort of getting feeds in from different places all over the world, and it's quite difficult to get gameplay from somebody else into my feed. So if we did a live stream where we were sort of doing a devs versus the community night, which is something I really want to do, by the way, you'd have to watch me play. And I feel like you'd just be on the respawn screen all the time, you know? Like,
Well,
especially,
all the people calling this projectile change broken, watching you play will definitely think it's not broken. So we might be doing
Wow.
But I will say,
das Ding gerade komplett weg.
We're going to monitor this change pretty closely as well. So we'll be looking at players' feedback. The goal is to put it out into your hands kind of as quickly as possible.
Somebody else. Okay. Up next, we have some, I guess, I'm going to say some smaller adjustments to the map. I think that's probably a good way to say it, right? Smaller adjustments to the map. So,
sind auch ziemlich geil. Also ich finde die Änderungen an der Map auch ganz gut.
Is just like it feels extremely claustrophobic, or it felt extremely claustrophobic to fight. Basically allow better verticality in and around the pit areas.
Also wir haben hier auf jeden Fall komplett veränderte Strukturen.
We notice that these areas are heavily choked.
Die kann man jetzt auch mit einer Aurora, einem Rampage oder sonst irgendwas überspringen.
So we kind of opened it up a bit. Two things being,
ist auf jeden Fall ein bisschen offener jetzt das ganze Stück.
So we basically made it a half wall, and this means it's way easier to, I mean, you can double jump over it, howitzer ult over it, you know, throw your Gideon portal over there and allow your team to get in. And it just creates like a more open area that you can actually play around instead of these really tight chokes. And then the other thing was we basically just took out that raised ring inside of both of the pits.
Finde ich gut, die halbe Mauer.
So the reason for this was, so before you have like Orb Primer Fangtooth that take up a massive amount of space in the middle that you can't stand in. And then you also can't stand in the ring on the outside if you're a melee hero. So if you're playing a melee hero, you don't really have any option to actually move and fight. You're kind of just stuck in one spot in this little ring. And it just makes for like lack of skill expression, essentially. Now that we've dropped this down, you can actually fight properly in the pit, and there is plenty of, you know, space to express skill, to outplay your opponent.
Josh will jetzt noch die Mauer zeigen, während er aber schon übers Pit redet. Dankeschön. So, also wir haben hier am Pit die große Veränderung jetzt einfach, dass der Ring außenrum weggenommen wurde, was ich persönlich super gut finde. Du hast als Melee-Champion, wenn du Damage machst auf den Buff, egal ob Fangtooth oder Prime jetzt mal, und ein gegnerischer ADC oder ein gegnerischer Midlaner läuft rein und steht auf dem Ring oben, dann stehst du immer wie so ein kleines Kind da unten und springst nach oben und willst seine Zuckerwatte greifen, kommst aber nicht dran. Es macht das Ganze irgendwie unfair für Melee-Champions in diesem Pit zu fighten. Hat das Ganze sehr unkomfortabel gemacht für Melee-Champions in dem Pit zu fighten. Was viele Melees dazu getrieben hat, wenn der Teamfight stattgefunden hat, das Ganze zu verlagern aus diesem Pit raus. Damit die halt auch mitfighten können und nicht von den ganzen Ranges da oben auseinandergenommen werden und da unten stehen, bewerft mich doch mit Steinen. Das ist halt alles einfach, also für Melees komplett dumm gewesen in dem Pit drinne. Die Änderung finde ich spitze. Das gibt endlich viel bessere Teamfights da drin. Bessere Teamfights kommen am Pit. Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
auf jeden Fall.
I think the pit change is probably like the biggest one where, as you mentioned, Demonde, like the rings made the pit feel quite tight, but just removing those rings actually makes it feel like pretty massive now. Like there's actually way more space, even though it's like such a tiny change. it means that it just means that like teammate, and then all the Decker just like double jumped into the wall, but they couldn't go over it.
Ja, ist doch viel
and then we
geiler.
just
Guck
killed
dir
her.
das mal an.
So
Viel schöner auch, das Pitch.
so we
Fand
made
die
it
Mauer
like really
hässlich.
easy
Ist
to
jetzt
go
viel geiler
over,
so.
or maybe it's just after this, but
Das ist viel cooler so.
sorts of changes is up.
We're
I
done.
like.
What we want to talk about, I think, is probably, I think it's the biggest shake-up, right?
Oh, for sure.
So we'll be back
ja.
in a minute.
Jetzt
you
kommen wir
watch
zum
this video.
dicken. Nochmal zur nächsten dicken Änderung. Die guten Teleporter. Ich weiß noch nicht, was ich davon halten soll. Ich weiß noch nicht, was ich davon halten soll.
Going back.
Ich weiß
There
es
you
noch
go.
nicht.
So really enjoyed a lot, the exact way you would typically expect. But I think the really cool part that we added was initially when you teleported, we didn't let you teleport across the map, like you just went from one side to the other, but now you go off across the entire map, and you can see it from like, you know, the top view. So I think it's really exciting. We also added things to try to keep it balanced as possible, and so you can't use the teleporters for the first 10 minutes, I believe. There's also a cooldown on it.
Also die ersten 10 Minuten ist er gesperrt
And so I think
und es gibt einen Cooldown
it
drauf.
made some really interesting plays. I actually wanted them to be sooner, but I don't think that would create a great laning experience. But it just created a lot of really fun moments in playtesting. And I think the really interesting thing was when we initially told people about it, I think people were quite skeptical that it'd be a good change. But then when people played it, they felt like completely different. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. So again, this is a similar change to the projectiles where we'll just monitor player feedback and see how it goes. The really funny thing is like you can follow people across on the teleporter, like you can teleport after them. And we were playing a match where these, you know, we were losing lane, but we were losing base, and like my carry and the other enemy carry were just going from one teleporter to the next. Oh, there's a cooldown, so you can't use it right after each other. But I was like, dude, come back to base. And they're just like running towards the teleporter. I'm like, it gets addictive when you're flying that high. You kind of want to hit that dopamine again. So yeah, really cool change. I think it definitely changes the game quite dramatically.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely does. As Robbie was saying, like.
Das Ding ist, ich habe jetzt ja auch öfters mal Offlane gespielt und als Offlaner, wenn deine Duo gerade reinscheißt, komplett darüber zu rotieren, bringt dich auf der Lane meistens behind. Wenn du aber die Möglichkeit hast, endlich mal deine Headness zu nutzen, darüber zu gehen und das Ganze auf die Lane zu überspielen, finde ich eigentlich ganz gut. Ja, man muss gucken. Ich finde es eigentlich gut. Man muss aber gucken, wie es dann in-game kommt. Ich bin noch ein bisschen skeptisch. Von der Theorie her finde ich es geil. Paul ist so Quatsch. Ich habe genau dasselbe gesagt, als ich das erste Mal gesehen habe. Aber so von der Theorie her ist es eigentlich cool. Man muss gucken, wie es...
Really
skeptisch bin ich trotzdem.
And again, I think when we put this in the game, everybody was just kind of like,
Und Servus, Markus.
what's this going to be like? And then we put it in, we're like, no, this is really fun. Like, it's actually just fun. Essentially, like, there was a moment where I was playing with them in a playtest where we were posturing around Orb Prime. There's like 5 of my team and like 3 of the enemy team were posturing around Orb Prime. And we would start Prime and then...
Over Prime habe ich ja nur 5 bis 10 Runden gespielt, fand ich nicht so gut. Das war mir zu high-paced. Es ist einfach zu schnell gewesen, das Spiel. Es hat sich angefühlt wie in Call of Duty mit Abilities.
Support and carry were split pushing, and they would like run towards the teleporter, and we had vision of that, so we could see. So we had to pull off of Prime because then we would have just got collapsed on, because they would have just shown up on the other side of the map, and then everybody would have, you know, collapsed on us. We would have lost. So this really weird cat and mouse game where like we would start Orb Prime, and then they would run back to the teleporter. We would pull off, and they'd run back to the wave. So we didn't really know what to do. And then I think I was just
Nee, Overprime war ganz weit weg von
I
Paragon.
told our tankiest member, I think we had like a steal offlane or something, and I was just like, all right, they don't have vision, so all they're gonna know is that we started Prime. They're not gonna know who's on it. So I had Steel start the Prime, and then we all four ran to the teleporter, and then we like Steel kept doing Prime. They took the teleporter, and then we just ganked them as soon as they came in, killed them, and then we were able to get back onto the Prime, actually do Prime and take it. So it's just like a fun mind game outplay moment that would only happen if you're able.
Ach so, du kannst dich auch mit 4 Mann aus dem Team da draufstellen, oder was? Und zu 4 rüber teleportieren.
Yeah,
Go on, Robbie, go on.
I think it's really like
Hat er gerade gesagt, oder?
it definitely changes the way you play, and I think
Krass.
I had a lot of fun
Okay.
with it. I think we also did
Das
balance
heißt,
it
du
out. So
pushst
like
mit
the
deinem Team
cooldown is
die
individual.
Duo-Lane raus,
I believe also
stellst
when
dich
you're
zu
on the
viert auf den Teleporter,
everyone can see
portest
that you're
rüber auf die
teleporting,
Offlane,
everyone
machst
can see you
Prime.
on the
So.
teleporter, so that's like global vision. There's also global sound, so you can hear people if they're taking the teleporter or coming across.
Okay, es gibt einen Global Sound, also Global Audio für den Teleporter. Jeder kriegt mit, dass das Portal gerade
So there's a lot of things that help
wird.
balance it out. But yeah, I think it's super interesting and definitely is going to shake the game up quite a bit.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm looking at the chat now, and it's exactly what I thought. It's like there's some people that are like, "Whoa, this is really cool," and some people that are like, "Oh my god, what have you done?" But like it's like Robbie said, a lot of us were skeptical. I really was. I think even after I played
Ja,
quite
das
an
Spiel
early
wird auf
version,
jeden
and
Fall.
even
Aber
after that,
das
I was
finde ich
kind
ganz
of like,
cool, weil im Moment
I don't know, man.
an manchen Punkten fehlt es ein bisschen
I
an
think
Tempo.
my whole thing was like, I just keep getting ganked.
Manchmal ist es schwierig, auch Tempo aufrecht zu erhalten. Ich glaube, dass die Änderungen machen es einfacher, das Tempo aufrecht zu erhalten, wenn du mal Tempo hast. Macht aber, glaube ich, auch den Snowball ein bisschen extremer. Also ich glaube, du kannst besser snowballen jetzt mit den ganzen Änderungen.
The vision on the teleporter, so you still need a lot of map awareness, but you kind of need that anyway. And I think it does really add a new level to the game. It took me probably 2 matches to be like, this is sick. Like towards the, I definitely encourage you, like absolutely share your feedback. Let us know what you're thinking, or like one of the Feedback Friday mega threads, you know, because it was really cool.
And it's the exact same, right? We just want your feedback. Let us know as an example of one of them, and we'll be monitoring this one pretty closely, and we'll make changes accordingly. Like a lot of the stuff we built is very tunable. So
I see Pandemic 87 just said solo lane is no longer an island, and I feel that. I'm an offlaner, and it's really nice being able to just nip over to do and
put it across the map. It was pretty hilarious.
Hero stakes. We're being good, but we're doing loads of, we're to be honest, albeit not right. So we actually did a Feedback Friday. We've done
regardless of anyone else has logged in. Yeah, well,
ja, okay, jetzt kommen wir zur lustigen Änderung.
And we just want the game.
Man kann im Brawl jetzt die Champs
to be fun, a way for you guys to try crazy stuff. Some stuff may
das heißt, die sind halt erstmal mit 10 Igis da reingegangen und haben 30 Türme gebaut.
I was talking to you, but we came up, I think it was maybe one of our investors. It was like, it'd be cool if you could just pick any hero and you could have 5 of them. And then I asked Lasha if he would make the change, and he did it, even though it wasn't on the roadmap. So that was awesome. And I think it's just really fun, like a fun environment.
It is ridiculous. Like it's as in ridiculous fun. Like just when I jumped in, there is tactic and
yeah.
The person, but then like you can all ult, and I think it broke some stuff. I'm not sure. And then and then like you have to pick. You can just take what you want. So
but I did forget those again.
Ja, das Thema will ich mir jetzt aber nicht noch 20 Minuten
we've still got a few more things.
How does your AFK
just clarify one or was so? Yeah, I think
better detect these people and take action against them.
So change are coming specifically
in terms of, you know,
like running in a circle and stuff. So yeah, I think
sind wir jetzt beim Thema
go over.
Die Toxicity war ja auch im Moment ein ganz schräges Thema in Pred.
Some of the toxicity stuff, but we do have to be careful, because we also don't want to give you too much info, because obviously we don't want people to know exactly
like,
how it
does
works.
how does your AFK detection work?
Exactly, you
Let me
know,
write
like
that down.
we got to tread carefully. So bear
Also es ist auf jeden Fall ein neues System drin, für, um
with us,
AFKler
bear with us. Demondo, Robbie,
zu registrieren.
Demondo, you're probably good to take this. Actually, you've worked on this feature, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I can talk about it a bit, and I'll let Robbie hop in because it's quite a large topic, and as we said, we can't really explain the whole thing because it's the point, right? You don't want people to abuse the system.
We'll keep it light. We'll keep it light.
Yeah, for sure. Main thing is like AFK players. This is probably like the worst form of toxicity in terms of just destroying games for the other 9 people in the game. When you have an AFK player in a MOBA, you cannot play the game. This is how this works, right? So yeah, there's a system that will now better detect these people and take action against them. And we recognize that there was an AFK in this game.
So I actually don't know which change are coming specifically in this patch, so I'm worried I might leak some future stuff.
No, that's okay. They're soon, sort of thing.
Or was that already coming in?
If we're not talking about 1.2 and we're talking about what we're doing soon, then you can be unflagged as AFK, right? Like we don't want to punish people if your internet goes out, your PC blue screens, like whatever. Yeah, we don't want to punish these players because like this happens. So let's say you AFK, you get flagged as AFK. You come back and you play really hard, and maybe you actually don't win, maybe you lose, but you try, and you made an effort to not be AFK. We want to recognize that and unflag you as AFK. So this is one of the things. We're changing the cooldown to 5.
Und genau, für die Leute, die sagen, das AFK-System sei scheiße, dass das automatisch registriert von wegen hier PC-Crash, dies, das, jenes, hatte ich heute nämlich auch schon im Chat. Das System erkennt auch, wenn dein PC gecrashed ist, du aus deinem AFK zurückkommst und dann versuchst, dir zumindest wieder irgendwas zu erspielen und nicht nur rein intest. Also das System erkennt auch das. Und unflaggt dich dann. Also nimmt dir quasi diesen Marker weg, von wegen, der hat AFK. Das heißt, wenn du zurückkommst und dann spielst,
yesterday, didn't
kommst du auch keine Strafe
I mean,
dafür.
we're pretty much recapping it.
Somit wird das System erkennen, ob du AFK gehst oder AFK gegangen wurdest.
A little bit confused saying that the surrender timer is already 5 minutes, but it's actually dynamic, isn't it? Currently, the surrender timer.
Yeah, the current surrender timer, you can't surrender. Basically, you have to, at different parts of the game, there's different requirements to surrender the game currently.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. That's all I wanted to clarify. There we go.
But yeah, I think we can clarify all of this. This will all be clarified in the patch notes because there's some stuff that's coming, some stuff that's coming a little further out. But basically know that when you report someone, that we will take action on it. And so these things are coming in 1.2, and then we're consistently working on more and more things for the future. But as with all the other features, just keep giving your feedback and we'll adjust these things accordingly.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Team were like, don't, like Robbie says, wouldn't do anything, are we? Right. Let's move swiftly on to a few quality of life changes. What we got?
So yeah, there's quite a lot of quality of life stuff in this patch, but let's just talk about the few that I've listed here. So a lot of players ask for buying skins and heroes in the draft, and I think also with the rank changes that are coming,
Quality of Life Changes. Nächste Thema ist, wir können uns Skins und Heroes im Draft Screen kaufen.
Community, life improvements to the draft there. And then do you have the screenshots that I sent?
Yeah, I was gonna
other things. And
nächstes Quality of Life Ding wird sein, diese Emotes überm Kopf kann man sich auch für Amber kaufen, so wie man das auf dem Screenshot hier sieht.
This will actually touch on
das heißt, man hat quasi auch wieder da eine Möglichkeit, seinen Amber auszugeben.
In this extras tab before we got to the feature, but we now have overhead emotes as well. So we've added those stuff with which needs to express.
We do, and I feel like we might as well play them now.
let's do
So
it.
let's do it. So what you're looking at the moment is like really early alpha footage, as you can probably tell. But again, it's I kind of like just
Das ist der neue Screen dann, um die Emotes auszuwählen. Das ist Alpha Footage.
the
Steht auch unten
really,
extra noch mit dabei.
really work
Also
in progress stuff. And then in a minute it'll go to what it looks like, or what it looked like. Again, this was versus AIs, but I tried to be like, as you know, how I would do it to a player. Like, you know, when you see them, you're going to do your overhead emote. If you kill them, you're going to put
It's like, if you kill someone, we should automatically be able to trigger any.
how would you use them?
natürlich wird es toxisch genutzt.
Actually, when we presented the idea, the goal was like,
mach ich mir
if
gar
you
keine
kill
Sorgen.
someone, we should automatically be able to trigger an
Okay.
emote that you set as your.
Und dann
I'm
rauf
not the
da.
most expert gamer, like so yeah, but if you tap X, it'll play the quick slot emote, which is the one at the top. So you don't have to think about which one. You just hit X anytime you want.
The heart eyes, as I
Well, that's not.
Like
Ja,
those rewards
ist ganz
will
cool.
be delivered in for these.
I think
See you guys in 15 days away or so.
yeah. I mean, not talking about
It's ganz
patch
cool.
like the week to this week. It's some
The feed out the new main menu. We changed the part of that.
trophies.
Trophies, yeah, that'll all come in 1.2 as well. So this is gonna be a pretty big patch.
Trophies kommen
I'm
jetzt
super
noch rein,
excited
also
for you
Trophäen.
guys to try it out. And there's more, right? So we didn't even talk
There
about
is
some of the
more.
stuff we added. So
Yeah, no, there is more. Like we didn't want to reveal everything and stuff. So, you know, if you're not following us on Twitter, or always a good place to be. But yeah, I think that's
There is one more ranked thing that I forgot to mention. It's not huge.
okay. Go on. Go on.
For season one, yeah, something that we would like to have, but I forgot to mention, was having an intent phase before the ban phase, so you can actually show what you want to play, so people don't ban your hero. That's like
Oh, that's
one
good.
last thing.
Yeah.
Für das Ranked-System haben sie jetzt noch hinzugefügt, wollen sie für den ersten Split mit einfügen, dass du quasi anzeigen kannst, was du spielen möchtest, damit das nicht gebannt wird.
Yeah, I've had it quite a few, especially at the start. If I ever want, that's pretty much all we've got to share. But today, very against it. Doing them. If you've already said it, by the way, no, Mobley. There we go. If you drop us a whisper, Divio. There you go. Does it announce it in the chat? I don't even know if it is. Is it? Oh, okay, good. All right, good. That's fine. That's good. Divio is the second winner.
Das war's mit all den Änderungen, die im nächsten Dings kommen sollen. Im nächsten Patch. So, dann gibt es noch übertrieben viele Aufladungen auf den Code. Hier, bitteschön. Der sollte auf jeden Fall noch ein paar Mal gehen. Könnt ihr einmal in Predecessor den Code redeemen, wenn ihr Bock habt, für ein Spray. Hey, Chiller, was geht? Alles fit bei dir, Bro? So. Alter Schwede. Fast 2 Stunden sind wir jetzt den Devstream durchgegangen, Leute. Holy shit.